and you only take it out on competition shooting day. That's probably not what you're going to get to when the stink hits the fan and you got about 10 seconds to decide what to do. Sorry, folks. Some of you I might be rubbing the wrong way. I certainly hope I don't. Again, I have to tell you the truth. I owe it to you, the listener. Many of you who listen to this, you support my show. And what you tune in for, what you listen for, is for me to tell the truth, right? How many of you would agree with that? You listen for me to tell the truth, or at least what I believe that the truth is. And you tune in for my opinion. You tune in for my analysis. You listen because you want to hear my guests that I have on this show quite often. You want to hear what they have to say. I'm selective about who comes on this show. I talk to them first. Either I know who they are or I've talked to them first extensively. Maybe I've met them at a training class. Maybe I've met them at a competition match. Maybe I've met them at the Range Master Tactical Conference that I've been to 2 times that Tom Givens puts on. Maybe I met them at Mag 40 because I've taken Mag 40 with Masad Ayub Group twice. Maybe I've met them because they came to one of my classes that I taught. Maybe I've met them because they're with Suarez International Training Group, and I've either taught with them or I've taken their class. Those are the kinds of guests that I like to bring on this show that have experience. Some of them have been in gunfights. My longtime friend and training partner, Ben Branham, been in 11 gunfights. Ben knows what it's like to be in a gunfight, which is why I like to bring him on. So you tune into this show to hear that kind of information. And these people, when I bring them all on, they tell the truth. They tell the truth about what's going on. Sometimes the truth ain't pretty. Sometimes the truth is not popular. But, as Winston Churchill said, and I'm going to paraphrase, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, but in the end, there it is. It's still there. Ignorance may deride it. Malice may attack it. But in the end, there it is. The truth is still there. So it's my obligation to share it with you. You know, a little over a month ago, I had John Correa from Active Self-Protection on this show. He was a guest. I interviewed him. Remember that? If you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to that. John's analyzed something like 35,000 gunfights. 35,000 gunfights. That's a pretty good sampling, isn't it? And, you know, what John says about what he has seen by analyzing these gunfights, that's the truth, folks, because it's 35,000 actual gunfights. Not some internet warriors that are on their keyboard typing stuff on the internet and making themselves feel good. Don't pay any attention to that stuff, folks. You know, it's not some YouTube celebrity. There's a lot of YouTube celebrities, and boy, they can make a video of some great shooting. They can be shooting. Okay, don't forget, videos are editable. Videos can be modified. They can be edited. They can be sped up. They can be slowed down. Things can be cut out of the video that they don't want you to see. You'll notice when you go to my YouTube channel, I don't edit those videos. I don't edit those videos, folks. And let me tell you something. If I kind of mess up on a video, I'll say, guess what? I just messed that up. Let's do this over again and let's try it again. Everybody makes mistakes, folks. Be careful of what you hear and see out there. Listen to the people who have been there, who have done that. I've never been in a gunfight. So I'm going to put that out there right now. So you're probably not going to ever hear me on this show talk about what I experienced in a gunfight. Because if I did that, I'd be a liar, and I don't believe in being a liar. But I bring other people on the show that have been in gunfights, that have been in law enforcement encounters, that have been in military engagements. You want to get better at being a competition shooter? I bring people on this show that are good competition shooters. I have a pretty good amount of experience of being a competition shooter, so I can talk about some things. But there are a lot of people who are a whole heck of a lot better than I am at being a competition handgun shooter. A lot better. So I like to bring those people on. So next, Scott brought up a good point, my caller Scott, earlier in this episode. You know, he said his carry rotation is down to just 2 guns. One of his Shadow Systems guns and a SIG P365 XL. See, that's such a smart move. And Scott said something that I have said hundreds of times throughout the 11 and a half years that I've been doing this podcast. Stick to the same type of gun for your carry gun. Pick whatever it is. Is it a 1911? Okay. Is it a revolver? Okay. Is it striker fired? Okay. Is it a hammer fired double action, single action? That's okay too. Just pick what you like to shoot the best and stay with that as your concealed carry handgun. So, my primary go-to gun now is my MR920 Elite. My secondary go-to gun is a P365 XL. I'm comfortable with those. I can shoot those well. I practice and practice and practice and practice over and over and over with those guns. And I'm going to put in a special plug here for the P365 XL by Sig Sauer. That's a gun you can purchase, take it out of the box, and it is good to go right out of the box. You don't have to do anything to that fine pistol. You don't have to make any modifications. It's good to go. It's got the night sights. It's got the green front sight. It's got a fantastic grip, nice texturing, nice undercut under the trigger guard. Holds 12 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. There's also 10-round magazines if you live in a less free state where you can only have 10-round magazines. That's a fantastic gun. You're going to pay for a little bit more for it than you are for some pistols, but you can do anything with a P365 XL. You can shoot long distance, medium distance, short distance, close range. That thing, it's an all-around great gun. It's probably one of the best all-around pistols. And it's very concealable and very easy to carry. Easier than a Glock 19. People have said, well, the Glock 19 is probably one of the best all-around guns out there. And it probably is. It's now, I would say, probably in the top 5. It used to be the best all-around gun out there, but you know what? A lot of other guns have been invented and sold now and created since the Glock 19 came out, and many of them give you excellent features and you don't have to modify them. If you carry an MR920 Elite by Shadow Systems in 9mm like I do, and that's your primary, you don't have to do anything to that gun. It's ready right out of the box. And that's so cool. Would you agree? We are in a pretty cool time right now in terms of manufacturing guns. So I'm going to finish with this. Don't let any of these politicians take these things away from you. Stand up. I don't care what kind of a belief system you have in politics. I don't care if you're a right political person or if you're a left political person or if you're a moderate somewhere in the middle or you're a libertarian or whatever. I don't care. It's okay. You know what? You're part of this great group called gun owners. Gun owners. Freedom-loving people. People who believe in the right to self-defense. You're part of it. But you got enemies that don't want you to own that gun and use that gun. Some of these enemy politicians you have, they have an R next to their name, which stands for Republican. Some of them have a D, which stands for Democrat. Some of them have an I for independent. Some of them are enemies of gun owners. They're enemies of the right, the God-given right you have for self-defense. And by the way, folks, the Second Amendment, when it was ratified, it was not ratified to give people the right to self-defense. It was ratified to give the citizenry of the country the ability to keep and bear and possess arms so they could fight against tyranny, because that's what they just did. That's what they just did several years before ratifying the Constitution. They fought against tyranny. Tyranny is starting to come back. And you got to fight against that. That's why you got guns. Self-defense, that's just a benefit of the Second Amendment. Oh, by the way, you can use your gun to defend yourself. In your home, out of your home, if you have a license. By the way, in Texas, we passed constitutional carry. I don't know right now, as of today's recording, if the governor has signed it yet. He promised he's going to sign it. So we'll be like the 14th or 15th state to have constitutional carry. If you're 21 years of age and you're not convicted of a felony and you're legal to own a gun, you can carry it, or you will be soon allowed to carry it in the state of Texas without having to ask permission of your government and pay them a fee. And I think that's a cool thing. One day I hope all 50 states, I know it's a tall order, but one day I hope all 50, or at least almost all 50 states, allow the same thing. Because it's our right to be free and to defend ourselves. That's all I got to say, folks. Please support this show. Support my sponsors. Buy from them. Use the coupon codes. If you don't want to do that, sign up for my Shooters Club at $8 a month. I have a Patreon page. There's unique information on there that I've never shared anywhere else. Become a Patreon for as little as $3 a month. All these you can find at handgunworld.com, handgunworld.com. Even if all you can do is leave me an iTunes review, or now it's called Apple Podcasts, I'd appreciate that too. So that's it, folks. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Handgun World Podcast. I am Bob Mayne. Remember, shoot straight, shoot safe, read your Bible every day, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks.
I'm a desperate man. Send lawyers, guns, and money. This shit has hit the fan. Send lawyers, guns, and money.